Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. Make it part of your daily routine. Listen, we keep you in the know there. So many, the articles, the videos, we hardly touch on any of them. You know, the program, it's only an hour. Really, with commercials, it's like 45 minutes. You just can't get it all in, so make sure you're out at allamericangold.com to keep you all comfortably disturbed out there. We've got a great program today. Very rarely do I have guests on this show, but today Sandy Cordero is going to be joining me. Sandy is a solar expert. A lot of people, especially here in the Southwest, Ask Sandy, asksolarsandy.com. That's how you get a hold of her. She's a huge expert in this field. We're going to be talking about, get ready. We got to get ready. Listen, we already know General Motors, the CEO, Mary Barra, was on TV. They had earnings. All she wanted to talk about was, hey, we're going all electric, right? Everyone's got to plug their cars in. The power companies, the cost of power is going to be a fortune. The International Energy Agency issued a warning today about cobalt and lithium, right? These are the materials that you need for batteries. Everything. Iron ore, steel hit all-time record highs today. You better get prepared. So Solar Sandy, she's going to be with us in the next segment and getting everybody educated on what you can expect. And my guess is, pretty much, if you don't have solar, you're probably going to need it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to afford your electric bill. Gold's popped here. We knew it was coming. Gold's up 31, 18, 15, and counting. Silver's up $1. As everything is continuing to escalate, the Federal Reserve asleep at the wheel. And how long until they admit, hey, guess what? I guess we just can't keep printing money out of thin air without it having adverse effects. This is just simply, Sam Zell said it the best yesterday. It's nothing more than devaluation. Listen, it's fine. Okay. We're going to devalue. We get it, right? And we're gonna have to switch the currency from the dollar to this electronic thing. Everyone's gonna have to take a haircut, right? All this fantasy make-believe that we can just print trillions of dollars and have no effect. It was all a lie. It's not true, but that's okay. Fine. So everybody here that listens to us, get your gold and silver, and you're gonna be fine. Get your house in order. This is just what it is. This is what it's going to be. And we all need to get ready for it. Listen, we know, just like having Sandy Cordero on the program today. Let's understand what the rules are. Where are we going? Where are we headed? Right? And if we know that, we can prepare. And the ones that prepare and get ready, they're the ones that thrive. And that's really what this is all about. We focus here on the financial side, right? There's other programs that focus on the spiritual side, right? Others that focus in on whatever it may be, the diversification of the stock market and all that stuff, or housing, right? We got all that stuff, but here we focus on financial and what we need to get ready for, and it's just been a huge snowball effect. Every single day, it seems like we're talking about something else at new all-time record highs, and iron ore and steel hit new all-time record highs today. A new call, copper, which is right at its all-time record high. You haven't seen anything yet. Now they're saying copper's going to $20,000 per metric ton. It's incredible. We know about lumber. Now they're warning about cobalt, and they're warning about lithium. And of course, we already know, look at what palladium and rhodium are doing, and all of these things. it's happening, and it's only happening for one reason. Because they decided that instead of trying to put people to work, instead of trying to grow the middle class, they wanted to give handouts. I mean, that's really what it is, and there's no end to the handouts. Every day we hear more and more about all the spending that the Democrats want to do. And let's not say it's the Democrats. The Republicans are just as bad. I mean, let's not shy away from it. They all want to spend our money. And at the end of the day, we're the ones that pay for it. And this is what we've been talking about for a long time, and we see it. Just think about already we're 10, 15 days into this new administration. They've already announced $6 trillion worth of spending, and they got more lined up. They've got more lined up. And I can't wait to get Sandy on. We're gonna cover it all. We're going to talk about the power companies, right? I mean, these are monopolies, and every time you turn around, they're always asking for rate increases. And here in the Southwest, water shortages, right? Huge problem. Are we going to have electrical problems with the dam? Then she's going to talk about the Green New Deal. And then, of course, obviously, educate us all on solar. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial. Got a great show lined up for you. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Super excited. Sandy Cordero, she is the foremost expert. When it comes to solar, she's the one that we go to, and she can educate all of us on everything that's happening out there, from the power companies to the Green New Deal. And we're just so excited to have her with us. Sandy, first of all, welcome to the program. And I know how busy you are. Thank you so much for taking some time to try to educate everybody out there.
Thank you so much, Joe, for having me on. It's my pleasure. I really am looking forward to touching on some very important subjects.
Well, let's get right to it, because we don't have a lot of time. Let's start with the power companies. What can we expect going forward when it comes to power and the power companies?
Absolutely, Joe. So like we're already seeing, basically after November, we already saw the prices at the gas pumps go up, and that's not going to stop. And it's not going to stop at the gas pumps. We've already seen a major increase in APS, one of the major electric companies here in Arizona. SRP has got a rate increase coming by the end of October. Folks, that is going to happen all across the country. It's an essential. We need electricity to live. Most people may or may not know this, but Warren Buffett and the likes of Warren Buffett, they own a lot of interest in power companies. Why do you think that is? He says specifically, utilities are a forever business. No matter what the economy is doing, we are always going to pay our power bills. And it doesn't matter how high our power bills go, we will figure out how to pay them. We have to cut back somewhere else, or we're living uncomfortably and unaffordably in our own home. We will pay our power bills. So expect very, very substantial increases to come over the next 4 years.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And here in Arizona, APS has already done it. SRP's coming up next. And I agree with you, Sandy. It's not going to stop. It's just the beginning. But we've heard a lot, yes, and I've talked a lot about this Green New Deal and this push. Just this morning, Mary Barra, the GM, the head of General Motors, was out telling everybody, listen, we're going all electric. By 2020, by 2030, 2035, we'll make no more gasoline-powered cars, and we know all the things about Green New Deal. What can we expect?
Well, Joe, like I say to everyone, this is, we can go down this rabbit hole for hours and hours. The bottom line is it's socialistic, it's extreme, it's impractical, and it's what they're proposing, and most of them don't even know what's in the Green New Deal. It's basically a power grab for them to pass on costs for infrastructure. For example, I was doing some reading to prepare for the show. In order to have the electric vehicle charging stations to eliminate the gas stations, they would have to have 3 times the electric charging stations throughout the United States. Financially, it's just not feasible because electric vehicles will only go for about 100, 125 miles on a charge. So you'd have to have 3 times the gas stations. So just that and that alone, it makes this not even feasible to accomplish this. But all these people, the semiconductor industry, and all of these left-leaning companies are all going to benefit because what are we going to do? We're going to go out and buy electric vehicles thinking that that's the way to go. No, it's about money and power, Joe.
And let me ask you, because I couldn't agree with you more, and we're watching all of this play out, and I always like to tell my listeners, this is simple math. Right, and when it comes to the Green New Deal, this math doesn't hunt. This math doesn't add up. But that's never stopped them from achieving their agenda. And I'm wondering, is it even going to be possible? You know, I look at healthcare. Let me make this analogy. See if you agree with me. When Obamacare came. Oh, yeah, don't worry, you can keep your doctor and costs are going to go down and all this stuff. And, of course, everybody's health care bills have quadrupled. Is this what's going to happen in the power industry? Are we going to see power bills that are going to go up 400, 500, 600% to try to afford all of this stuff?
You're absolutely 100% correct. Look at the energy taxes that California is paying. They're supposed to be one of the greenest, states, etc. It costs money to do these things, and they're going to put those costs onto us, the average homeowner, the average, middle American is going to pay for these lofty, unaccomplishable, unattainable ideas. The Green New Deal, they're using scare tactics. They're misinforming us about climate change. OAC said basically that they're going to use climate change as an existential threat. They're using this as a national security scare tactic to get people to be fearful. Al Gore has been saying this for how many decades, that we're all going to die from climate change, etc. So this is just part of their playbook, Joe. And yes, we're going to see some of the worst price increases on something that is absolutely essential in our everyday life. At what point does it become that we're paying the power companies to live unaffordably and uncomfortably in our own homes? What point does it? Something's got to give. And that's why I've become just an educator. I'm a retired registered nurse, Joe. I didn't get into this for profit. I came into this to help my daughter not be taken. She was already being taken advantage of. She lives in Hawaii, be taken advantage of by the power company. But there's not good solar companies out there. So I came into this to educate people and how actually politics plays a part in something that we need to sustain our life, electricity.
You touched on a great point when it comes to solar, right? It's an industry like all others, right? There's pros, there's cons, there's good, there's bad. Sometimes in the industry, it doesn't have maybe the greatest reputation. Why is the way you do solar so much different and so much better?
I'm so glad you asked because, like I said, I am a retired registered nurse who had a bad accident. Long story short, financially, I wasn't able to help my daughter pay her power bill that at one point was over $500. So I started doing research, and solar was on that research that came up. And in our experience when we were researching and meeting with different companies, there was a lot of salespeople involved in this, and their math just wasn't adding up. So I created a proprietary formula for my daughter's home to make sure she was attaining the maximum savings and benefits of going solar, combined with the correct rate plan with that solar. And I was able to cut her power cost in half, and then I helped her whole community go solar. This is before I did this professionally. And my daughter said, Mom, I wonder how many people are getting, wrong information. She says, you need to do this. and ended up, getting invited on a little radio show, and I've been doing this now. My platform is conservative radio, but I basically want people to know when solar is done correctly. And does solar work for everyone? No. If it doesn't, I'm going to tell you, these numbers don't work for you, but I'm going to give you advice on which rate plan would be best for you and the best way to move forward. It's not a sales pitch, Joe. I love what I do. I love helping people. I'm no longer going to help people with their medical health, so I help them with their electrical health, which helps them with their financial health. And going forward, that is going to be so key because, like you said, our cost of our electricity is going to go up so exponentially. People aren't going to stop paying their power bills. They might stop driving cars, but you don't have an option when you're at home. You need electricity to sustain yourself.
Now, let me ask you this. Cost. We talk a lot about cost for the solar panels, cost for the batteries. I mean, as we go down, I got to imagine 10 years from now, the cost just to get solar is going to be extremely expensive.
Well, as it goes higher in demand, yes, the cost will go up. But currently, the way that I am able to help my potential families looking at going solar, there's no money out of pocket. So they're able to move forward with no investment up front. And when I meet with my families, I can usually show them the cost-benefit analysis that they're going to pay substantially less over the same period of time by going solar. And most times, Joe, I can eliminate them even having any bill with the power company. So we've redirected money that they would already spend with the power company, paying less to producing PYOP, produce your own power, and pay less for it. And now, over the same period of time, I'm helping my families put more of their hard-earned money in their pocket versus flushing it down the utility toilet.
That's a great point, especially now with, you already touched upon the cost of gasoline, the cost of everything else. We just mentioned before you joined us, how iron ore and steel hit new all-time highs today.
Yes.
Any way to save money, because let's face it, you're going to spend it somewhere else, and that's kind of the huge problem. But this is just something where, this is where it is. We know what the rules are. We know what they're doing. Green New Deal is coming. Power costs are going to go through the roof. Be ahead of the curve, right, Sandy?
Absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. When people start looking at this as taking their power back over many aspects of their life, and electricity is an essential, take control over that. It's why you bought a home. It's why you didn't rent a home. It's why you bought your car. It's why you don't rent a car. Essentially now, I don't want anybody renting their electricity because then the power company has control over whenever they raise those rates, and it could be in an opportune time. You could be just getting ready to retire, or you've got a wedding, or you've got something coming up, an expense, and they raise your rates and your monthly payment to the power company goes up. You don't have any choice in the matter. You have to pay that bill. Now, I've got you producing your own power, paying less for it, and locking that cost in, that cost is never going to go up again.
How do people get a hold of you, Sandy? I know a lot of our listeners out there, they're seeing it. Here in Arizona, you only got two choices for power in Phoenix. It's APS or SRP. They're all going up, and they're going to continue to go up. If they're interested in trying to eliminate that power bill, how do they get a hold of you?
Absolutely, Joe. They go to my website. Make sure they put ask solarsandy.com. That's ASK, SOLARSANDY.com. And if they want to talk to somebody, my girls in my office are amazing. 623-850-8229. The number again, 623-850-8229.
Sandy, thank you so much. And again, please, I want to have you back on so we continue to talk about this, especially as they start getting into this Green New Deal legislation. I want to get your thoughts and your input, and obviously helping our customers save money allows them to be able to buy some more gold and silver and prepare for all the other inflation that's out there. So thank you so much, Sandy, and I can't wait to have you back.
I look forward to it. And by the way, there's a special on. They get a year of their solar panel payments made. Any portion of their bill that's not covered by the solar for the first year till I get them to zero. So it's basically a year with no power bill.
Wow. We'll be giving you a call. That's 623-850-8299. Or if you don't like the telephone, go to Google, ask, A-S-K, the word ask, SolarSandy.com. Sandy Cordero, the solar expert, especially here in the Southwest. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thanks so much, Joe. God bless you as well. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Sandy. Take care. Listen, get ready. Hey, I'm here to help. That's what we try to do. I'm trying to help you financially. Sandy, the same thing. And her stories, like a lot of people, for her, it was watching her daughter struggle. And again, all of us that have kids, we know how expensive it is, and how, and all my friends, we've got kids, they're in their 20s and their 30s, and we still got to help them just to get by. And as she got into it, she just fell in love with it. No power bill for a year? Yeah, sign me up. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Very, very interesting stuff. Sandy, just great story. And we start thinking about this. What else are we going to do? What's going to happen? Yesterday, it was 100 degrees yesterday here in the valley. Fast forward 10 years. And now it's 100, it's 110, it's 115 degrees. And we all got to plug our cars in. Because that's what's coming. And what is that going to cost? And I don't know. I kind of see a world where, you're if you don't have a solar panel, you probably can't afford it. Right? Again, I'm not an expert in it in any way, but Sandy is. Reach out to her and just get ready. We know what the rules are. Whether or not we agree with them, it's irrelevant. Right? Do I agree with all the deficit spending? No. Did I agree with the lockdown? No, I didn't. But it was what it was. It was what it was. Look at the vaccines. Right, they're forcing it. All the colleges, everything. Who was it? I think it was the Yankees and the Mets. We'll allow 100% capacity at our baseball games as long as everyone's vaccinated. Right? We're hearing a lot of that. Vaccination cards and all this. We're going to try to fight, but it is what it is. And in this case, when you talk about where we're headed financially, it just all makes sense. The timing of having Sandy on, the same time the IEA, which is the International Energy Agency, this morning put out a huge warning advisory to all Western governments, saying that they need to immediately start stockpiling critical battery metals. Okay, and the batteries they're talking about, the batteries for the electric cars, the batteries for the charging station, the batteries for solar power, right? All of these batteries that have to do with energy. The two biggest items they worry about, cobalt and lithium. But let me give you all the metals. Nickel, which, by the way, I don't know what, but Jason follows that a lot. Nickel is getting ready. Get ready. When we look at where's the next demand shock, we talked about iron ore and steel today. We talked about copper today. We know about lumber. Nickel, aluminum, phosphorus, iron, right? All-time record high. Copper. All-time record high, right? Graphite, lithium, cobalt, magnesium. Or, I'm sorry, manganese. My bad. All of these metals, get ready, all-time record highs. Then we know about the solar panels, right? Silver, platinum, palladium, rhodium. right? These are what we're going to expect. This is where all of this is leading to, whether you like it or not. It's already done. General Motors, Ford, all the cars, they're done. Gasoline cars are going away. I love what Sandy had to say about these charging stations. You know, the charging stations, they're pretty annoying, aren't they? Because normally there's nobody in them, or they're in weird spots. But she's saying take every gas station and times it by 3. That's how many charging stations you would need. I don't even know how it would work. I mean, I'm thinking about like Quick Trip. Right? I guess, right, instead of, you go in and you pump your gas, can you charge your car that fast? Or is it going to be, okay, got to go charge my car. I can't afford to do it at my house. Honey, I'm going to go down to the Quick Trip for the next 4 hours. I'll be back. I don't know. That's a lot of hot dogs. You know what, man? I wish I could have asked her that. I don't know. I don't know how fast you can do it. I mean, right now, everything I read, it's 6 hours, it's 8 hours to charge these batteries. I don't know. All I know is all of these things, power is one of those things. She brought up a great point. Hey, listen, there's a lot of things you can do without power. Is not one of them. Right? You're going to cut back on going out to eat. You're going to cut back on the entertainment, right? But you can't cut back, cars, right? Okay, well, I don't have a car. Get rid of the car. You still got to have the power. I mean, look at what happened in Texas. Well, that's going to start happening everywhere. That's what I think. I think we're going to see a lot more of that stuff the greener we go, because it's just, it's not as efficient, right? If the wind's not blowing right, or if the sun's not out right enough, right? Man, I'm just watching these markets, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking every single day at what we're seeing out there, and here's what's next. Pay is next. You see, Montana, no more government add-on. We're getting rid of the $300 extra a month because we got a worker shortage. Arizona and Florida, hey, you know what? No more just sitting on your butt. You got to go out and be actively looking for work. But here's the thing. I don't think $15 isn't going to get it done. And this is the problem. We've been saying it all along. By the time we get to $15 an hour, you're going to need $30 to actually be able to live. I don't know if you saw the article. There was a Dollar General. It was in Maine, and I obviously Maine's minimum wage must be lower than Arizona's. They all walked off the job. They put a note on the door, including the manager. The whole store, everybody there walked out. Said, hey, we work all of these hours. We're working 6-7 days a week, and we still can't pay our bills. And then you go to the grocery store. It is really starting to heat up, and more and more, people are talking about anything from like pork chops, chicken. Dude, chicken's on fire. I just saw again today. It hit an all-time high. On Tuesday, I'm going to tell you this story. On Tuesday, I golfed, and then I went bowling. I did the double dip. I stopped at Popeyes to get me a chicken sandwich on the way home. I got to the drive-thru, and it was about 9 o'clock. Sold out. We're out of chicken right now. I think we're going to hear a lot of that. This isn't toilet paper. This is actually food. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Gold's up $32. $1,816. Silver's up $1. $27.50 to the ounce, as people are starting to digest Janet Yellen. Remember, There's a reason Donald Trump didn't like her. Right? She is an unapologetic socialist spender. And the other day at that interview with the Atlantic, she told a little bit of the truth, and then came back the next day. Oh, I was just kidding. She wasn't kidding. Actually, you know what? She really didn't tell the truth to the Atlantic, because she was like, "Oh, it's just going to be a little bit of inflation." Right? Bank of America probably said it the best. If it's transitory, which, by the way, B of A said we don't believe that it is, but if it is, here's the best case scenario. Hyperinflation, hyper-transitory inflation. That's Bank of America's best case scenario. Right now, we got an item. We don't sell this a lot, but it's starting to make a lot more sense. We've got 100 Mint State 62 $20 Liberties. For those of you that like the graded gold, we have those out there. $2,165. That's only $65 more than a regular 20. Right now, $20 Liberties, our regular $20 Liberties, $2,100 today. Go all the way up to a Mint State 62 for only $65. That's pretty good value. I don't like selling graded when they cost. You go to our competitors. We don't have competitors, but if you do, right, they want $2,400, $2,500, $2,600, $2,700 on TV. These guys on TV probably want $3,500 for them. $2,165 today at 800-951-0592. We are anticipating, the Bullion Bank told us this morning, get ready for higher silver premiums again. It hasn't happened yet, but they warned again this morning. The Mint having all kinds of problems out there. On gold, we got a roll of 10th-ounce gold Eagles left, and then I'm going to take them off the site because this is it. They're just not available. 1 10th-ounce American Gold Eagles, $265 today as well, but I've only got 50. I've got one roll left. Then they're going to go out of stock. Silver Eagles, right now, I still have them out there. They're expensive, as all of you know, $815 to the roll this morning, but I don't know how much longer. Things are getting just getting harder and harder to get. Gold Eagles, you can't get them. Even on the old gold side of things, product, it's just hard. Think about when you got like billionaires like Sam Zell, and the reason why I bring him up, and I brought him up for the last couple of days. This is a guy who spent his whole career going on TV, on the cheerleading stations, telling everybody not to buy gold. Don't buy gold. He was a real estate guy. Now he's in. He's all in. He goes, it's just funny. He goes, I spent my whole life telling people not to do it. And really, he hit the nail on the head. He wasn't saying inflation. He called it flat out what it really is. They're debasing the currency. I know it. They know it. And I'm going to get ready for it. And remember, just this week, we launched 5. Well, we're launching 5. They announced that we're going to launch 5 test programs for the central bank digital currency. And believe me, whether there's going to be a devaluation, right? And I'll say, I'll use the Glenn Beck model, where depending on where you fit economically, depends on how much you get of the digital dollar, right? If you're a billionaire Maybe you get 50 cents. If you're a millionaire, maybe you get 60 cents. If you're a middle-class person, maybe you get 70 cents on the dollar. And I don't think that's enough. I go back to when they confiscated gold in 1933. The debasement was 75%. That was the debasement. Now, my guess is, with the digital dollar, they can do something like I just said, where they've got this sliding scale. And then, of course, they have complete control of price. And then they use the rest of the debasement through higher cost. Right? They're going to set an exchange rate for this new digital currency where even if you were dollar for dollar, you still come out behind. That would be my guess, because I don't think they could get away with a 75% debasement. But again, I don't know. We're looking at gold today. Like I said, up 32, 18.16. We get a close above 18.20. A close above 18.20. Then we're going to go to that 200-day moving average, which is about $35 from here. This is the big number. Gold goes up another $35, closes above that 18.50. That sets off a whole nother wave of computer buying. And we're going to see $2,000 gold when that happens. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Really quick, Solar Sandy's number again, because we've had a couple people call 623. Okay, 623-850. 850-8299. So 623-850-8299. That's Solar Sandy. And if you still need that, call us here at Patriot. We'll get you that number. By the way, the MS62s, we had 100. We got 25 left. Just that fast. Listen, 2165. Take your time, put them away, add to your portfolios, be prepared. It's fine. You're going to do really well. You start looking at what happened today. Why is gold up $32 today? Double what happened? Computers. 1788 was a key support level. We crossed that the other day. Then, the only reason why I took the Janet Yellen thing, gold took a step back for a minute. Now it's back up. 1800, that actually wasn't a big technical level, but a lot of people set these levels there. So as soon as gold broke 1800, all the computers, boom. 1850, that's a key level. Because that's again, we're already above the 50-day moving average, 100-day moving, and now we break above this 200-day moving average, and the computers buy again. Boom. It just one day, boom, it happens. 1900's like 1800. Again, not really a technical level, but they set them there, and once it breaks through 1900, right, we're off to the races. So this is what, when we look at the gold chart, the silver chart, right? Silver right at it here, 27.50. That's a key technical level. The next one is $28. Then silver starts stalking 30, right? Once gold breaks 1850, right? We're talking, we got the 2100, the highs are now back in play. Same thing for silver. Silver breaks 28. The highs from last year back in play, and again, this shouldn't be a shock to anybody. The pullback was fantasy, and what I mean by that, well, why did they pull back from there? Because they had they were trying to spin we can spend all this money and there's not going to be any inflation and we're going to have great economic growth and no inflation and deficits are great. What did that last? 4 months, 5 months. Now everybody's like, oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh. Maybe this inflation thing, right? We got a problem. And then, of course, I think where the crash comes, they got to let this go. They're in a box because they know. Once we admit we've got to raise rates to get inflation in check, that's it. The crash. That's when the crash comes. So be ready. You don't have as much time as you think. You never do. And it's always, and we always say it all the time, it's always okay to be a little early, but you never want to be one day too late. 800-951-0592. We have the 10th ounce at $265. And then, of course, the last of the MS62s at $21.65. God bless everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Here's the good news. Tomorrow, it's Friday.